Oh, yes, traders. Are you ready? Let's do it. Live. Traders, grab something to write with. A pen, a pad, a journal. Maybe you want to grab the beverage of your choice. Get nice and comfortable. As today we're going to have a very, very informative talk about something that I get scores and scores and scores of questions about. Boom. Welcome, traders. Welcome, 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 welcome. That's right, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another live trading talk with Oliver Velez. Of course, my name is Oliver Velez. And you know what? There's something that I actually do not want you to forget. I never want you to forget that I am your trader for life. Or at least that's what I want to be. All right? Good. So I hope everyone is doing very well on this, what's a very pleasant Sunday here, at least in my area. I hope you've rested up throughout the weekend. I hope you're raring and ready to go for next week's trading week. But I'm very, very glad that I'm able to sort of do this today. It's been a relatively busy weekend for me with training sessions with my traders or what have you, but I did not want to let this weekend go by without really touching upon this topic, because if you will recall, in one of my social media posts last week, I talked about this topic. I talked very briefly about motivation versus discipline, and I told you a story that about a trader of mine that kicked off this topic. And I felt that the topic is so important, and it's a topic that I received so many questions on, that it would serve as a perfect live session to delve into, to utilize a live session to delve into this topic. So that's what we're going to do today, traders. That's what we're going to do today. Now, this live session, I'm going to try not to drag on for a huge amount of time. I want to keep it in 30 minutes or less. I'll do my very best to take as many questions as I possibly can from you throughout the presentation or throughout my live talk, and maybe a little bit after. But again, I will be focused on trying to keep this live talk at least 30 minutes or less. I know you all are coming from different parts of the world. I see India here. I see obviously all throughout the United States, all throughout Latin America, Canada. I see Europe. Welcome, welcome, traders from all over the world. And actually, before I start, let me just say this. This is from the bottom of my heart. I thank you all for your support. This channel has grown immensely. It took me 8 years to get to 100,000 subscribers, not with a lot of effort, but when I started to put effort into the channel, it took quite a while to get to 100,000 subscribers. We today find ourselves in the last 2 months gaining almost 50% of that following in 2 months. So the growth is exponential. I have all of you to thank for that. And if you haven't done so as of yet, I strongly encourage that you subscribe to this channel. We spend a great deal of time putting out something of value to you virtually every single day of your trading life, or we try to do it every single day of your trading life. There's something that will help you take an additional step, that will help you raise your level of market sophistication in this wonderful activity we call trading. All right? And so subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click the bell in the upper right hand corner and not only turn notifications on, traders, but make sure you select all notifications so that every single time I go live, every single time I put out an educational or training based video, you are alerted right away. Don't leave this up to the algorithm to decide for you what you should hear, what you should be exposed to, because if you do not click all, then what you're saying to the algorithm is you choose for me what I should be alerted to. And we don't want to leave our lives up to an algorithm, right? You choose. So make sure you click all on notifications, and you'll receive all notifications, obviously, when I come out with some content. So traders, let's talk about this. One of the most frequently asked questions that I get about my past is, what did I do to keep going? What motivated me? This is something that I have to tell you that I am asked on a week-by-week basis. Most people who are familiar with my past know that I went through close to 6 years of extreme hardship trying to make this work. And remember, when I started this journey 38 years ago, there were not the services that you benefit from today did not exist. In 1981, when I decided that this was what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, in 1981, March of 1981, when I placed my first trade ever and felt so magical that I decided this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. There were no Facebook groups. There were no training sessions. There were no mentors. There were barely a few books on market play that were ever published in the entire world. This is long before the advent of the internet. This is long before new order handling rules changed the game and gave traders the ability to place their trades from their own computers. I did not start in the world where we could place our trades. I did not start in a world where there was support, where there were mentors, where there were seminars, where there were books, where there were articles written on this activity that I wanted to do. And so I believe that because of the lack of those things, because of starting during that time, my journey toward making this work, my journey toward mastery was extraordinarily long, and it was hard. And I will tell you that that journey was fraught with depression. That journey was fraught with moments of wanting to end life. That journey was fought through periods where the very people who loved me and wanted the very best in my life abandoned me because they thought that my passion for this activity we call trading was actually a stupid one. They felt, my loved ones, my family felt that I was actually throwing my education away. They felt that I was ruining my life. They felt that I was involved in an activity that was nothing more than going to the casino and gambling my money away. And sometimes in this business, your very, very loved ones will not be there to support you. And that is a true reality. Sometimes the person that you lay next to in bed every single night is your number one enemy when it comes to you becoming a success at trading, because that person, as much as you love that person, does not understand your passion for this. Sometimes the very people that you break bread with every single day at your dinner table will be the individuals that actually purposefully want to stand in your way to gain success at this. Now, some of you might have the amazing benefit of having the support of your loved ones and your family, but I didn't. My parents had different dreams and aspirations for me, and when I abandoned those dreams and aspirations for trading, I lost my parents for a period of time in my life. I lost my friends who had interest in nothing else but wanting to go party and have fun on the weekends. And I spent those weekends going over thousands upon thousands of charts, which used to come in the mail to me long before you could gain access to these things via your computer. And so during my first 6 years, there was nothing but darkness. There was nothing but loss. There was nothing but this long, seemingly never-ending journey of discovering what did not work. There was no way to practice during this time. There was no way to double check with someone that was doing it better than me to find out what is it that you can correct me on. There was no guidance. And this made the journey extraordinarily dark and long and lonely. None of my friends understood this. I watched friends graduate college and go off to start relatively high paying jobs. And I took jobs at night so that I could trade during the day. I took little part-time scrappy jobs for pennies to fund a big part of my survival. But it wasn't the biggest part. Yes, I hit rock bottom. And today I'm very glad that I hit rock bottom. Do you know why, traders? Because if you ever hope to become a master, you have to be brought to the breaking point. There is no mastery without bringing yourself or having been brought to the breaking point, not once, but multiple times. You have to almost look Satan in the face and return. You have to reach that point where you realize it doesn't matter how far I fall down or how much I fail. Failure can't stop me. And you can't reach that point until you do fail over and over and over again. And yes, there were moments I wanted to quit. There were moments I wanted to stop. There were moments I asked myself, Oliver, why are you kidding yourself? There were moments when I realized that every critic in my life, including my parents who said, you're wasting your time and you're wasting your life away, that I realized that they were right. They weren't wrong. That I had no evidence that they were wrong. All the evidence proved my parents right. All the evidence proved all of my naysayers right. All of the evidence that I was producing proved my haters right, yet something inside of me would not let me stop, despite not seeing the evidence that I was right. All the evidence proved that they were right, that I should stop, that this was a casino, that I was gambling, that I was wasting my life away. This was the evidence in my face every single day for roughly 6 years. And so the question I get, Oliver, how did you stay motivated? And there were moments I didn't. In fact, I will say that the majority of moments were non-motivated moments, but motivation came through every now and then and gave me a jolt. Every now and then, whether that motivation came from me internally, just picking up my resolve, or whether it came from an external force, reading a quote or reading a book or reading a biography of someone who overcame obstacle after obstacle until they became successful. There were a variety of forms through which this motivation came to me. Sometimes it was from me, but other times it was from an external thing, a movie, a book, a quote, the life story of someone. And so I receive the question regarding motivation almost every single week of my life. But I want to tell you what happened last week to me. It was after a training session I held on Monday. And I hold a special training session for a group of my traders every single day, but Monday is a very special training session for a group of my traders. And one of these traders reached out to me and begged and said, Oliver, listen, I really need to speak to you because I'm at or on my last leg here. I immediately reached out to the trader. And the trader told me, Oliver, listen, I was just in the training this Monday morning. And once again, I find myself motivated. You, Oliver, are a master motivator. And it's one of the reasons I chose you to be my mentor, because I've never met someone who can motivate me the way you motivate me. And today, Oliver, he told me, I am once again motivated. I came into this Monday wanting to quit, wanting to end this activity, but once again, I am fired up. I'm motivated. But Oliver, I know what's going to happen. What is going to happen later today or tomorrow, Tuesday, or maybe it might take until Wednesday. But what's going to happen to me is what happens to me every week. Oliver, I'm going to lose my motivation. I'm going to have a series of bad trades today or tomorrow, and the motivation that you gave me today is going to disappear. This is my reality, Oliver, he told me, every single week of my life. You pick me up. You give me that shot in the arm that I need every Monday morning. But by Wednesday, Oliver, it's gone. And almost every Friday, I want to quit. And he told me, Oliver, I'm on this terrible emotional cycle, and I want it to end. I don't want to be on this roller coaster. Help me. And I instantly told this trader that, listen, you don't need any more motivating. You don't need any more motivation. You see, motivation is not your problem. You've got motivation. I provide you that motivation. At times, you provide yourself that motivation. Motivation is not your problem, trader. You know what your problem is? You need more discipline. Motivation you have up the wazoo. Motivation you have internally at times from yourself. Motivation sometimes comes from a quote, sometimes comes from an Instagram post you've scrolled through. Sometimes motivation comes from a loved one. Sometimes motivation comes from a movie. Sometimes motivation comes from Oliver Velez. You have enough motivation in your life, but what you don't have enough of is discipline. And I went on to continue to explain to this trader that there is a vast world of difference between being motivated and being disciplined. And today, I want to delve into those differences. You see, traders, motivation is not designed to last. Motivation, while important, will never last. Motivation is like the Java shot you receive from a potent cup of coffee. But it gives you that shot, but it doesn't last. Motivation is like the adrenaline that you get in the midst of a sporting event. And after that sporting event is over, that level of adrenaline does not last. Motivation is that brief period of euphoria that you experience during special moments in your life. But you are living at the height of naivety if you believe those special euphoric highs will last forever. They don't. I'm not telling you that motivation doesn't have a value. I am not telling you that motivation is needed. Part of my responsibility is to motivate you. But you've got to understand that if you're relying 100% on your motivation taking you to the finish line, you are going to be sorely disappointed. Motivation is not a deliverer. Being motivated and rah-rah being fired up will not get you to the finish line. Motivation will not get you to the land of profitability. Motivation will not get you to mastery. Motivation is not the deliverer, but discipline is. Discipline is what gets you to the finish line. Discipline is what carries you through when motivation quits and stops working for you. Discipline is what picks your head up off of the pillow when you are depressed every single morning. Discipline is what keeps you going when the going is as tough as it's ever been in your life. It's discipline that makes you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to study when your body doesn't want to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning to study. It's discipline that keeps you going despite the pain, despite the embarrassment, despite the evidence proving all of your haters right, despite the evidence proving every naysayer in your life right. What keeps you going in the face of that, in the face of that hardship, is your discipline. Discipline is the only thing that will carry you all the way to the finish line. And if you've got motivation without discipline, then you will never make it. And I've always told you that I grew up with my mother constantly saying, Oliver, you use the word never too much. Never say never, Oliver. Well, Mom, I'm sorry. Never. Motivation without discipline does not cut it. Is it needed? Yes. Do you need a shot in the arm every now and then? Yes. Do you need a positive talk from me every now and then to get you off your hiney and start applying your work ethic to what you need to apply it to? Absolutely. We all need a push at times. We all need an outside force getting our mindset right at times. But if you're relying on that to achieve your mastery, you're going to be disappointed. It's not meant for that. It's not designed for that. It's the Java shot. It's the temporary high to get you off your ass every now and then. And we all need it. I need it at times as well. But let me tell you this, traders. Discipline is that magic elixir that separates the haves from the have-nots in life. That it doesn't matter what field we're talking about, trading or any other field, what you will always find is that those who've excelled are the most disciplined of the entire group or industry. That you'll always find that the central key or the item that separates the non-achiever from the achiever is directly tied to the level of discipline. Now, traders, discipline is something that is your responsibility. My responsibility is to train you. My responsibility is to raise your level of market sophistication, to raise your know-how, to increase your amount of information regarding this wonderful activity we call trading. My responsibility is to educate you. My other responsibility is to motivate you in those moments during which you cannot motivate yourself. These are my two responsibilities: to educate and train you, and to motivate you. Your responsibility is to apply the disciplined enough to go all the way. You see, no one can give you discipline. I can give you motivation, but I can't give you discipline. And discipline is not something that you're born with. It's not like, okay, this baby who's just been born gets 56% of discipline, and this person, they get 25% of discipline, and whoa, this beautiful baby with the incredibly gorgeous eyes gets 100% discipline. No, life doesn't work that way. We start with zero discipline. Every human being starts with zero discipline. Discipline is something that you nurture. Discipline is something that you build. Discipline is something that you manufacture over time, and you grow. It gets stronger with proper use. Don't be disciplined. The more undisciplined you are, the less potent your ability to become disciplined is. The more you practice discipline, the stronger that muscle. It's like a muscle. Work that muscle over and over again, and it gets stronger. Some people ask me, well, Oliver, how is it that I can work on my discipline? Discipline, one of the beautiful things about discipline, traders, is that it's universal. It's universal. You can't become disciplined in one thing and not have that discipline spill over into every other area of your life. This is one of the miracles of becoming disciplined. So when a trader comes to me and says, Oliver, I can't be disciplined. I don't know what it is. I can't stay in the trade when I'm supposed to stay in the trade. I snatch at my profits too fast. I'm not disciplined enough to hold on in the face of these profits. I'm killing my gains because I'm taking them too fast. Help me. And I says, well, if you can't do what you know you're supposed to do, which is discipline in this area, then let's build up discipline by becoming disciplined in a completely unrelated area. Do you make up your bed in the mornings? Most times when I ask that, the trader says no. And I says, well, let's start there. Let's start with a simple act like making your frickin' bed. The moment you wake up, all right, the first thing you do, make up your bed. I want you to do that for a month. Don't miss a single day. And I will tell you, traders, that by taking a simple act like that and becoming disciplined with it, will actually spill over into you being able to do what you say you're going to do in your trading better. You can't become disciplined in one area of life and then discipline stop when you move into another area. No, it's universal. It's like you can't be healthy. You can't bring your body to a state of health in this room and then move to another room and the health doesn't go with you. Discipline is universal and you can build it with little small acts in your life. How often do you read? Most people today don't read, they scroll. Well, no, I'm asking, how often do you read? So why don't we do something like this? Let's take a freaking page out of a book. I don't care what book it is. Let's take one page. Pick a book. I don't care what it is. You can pick the Bible. That's a great book to pick. You can pick the biography of someone you respect. Let's say Elon Musk. Whatever it is. I don't care what it is. A book of poems. Pick a book and read one page every night before you go to bed. Do that for 30 days and watch that discipline spill over into your trading. You want to become better trading in the market? Every Monday, I want you to have a goal. And let's start with one since Monday's coming now. I want you to grab every single losing trade you experienced last week. Every single losing trade, traders. I want you to add up all the losses and divide the sum by the total of losing trades. All right? So I want you to take all of your losing trades, add them. I lost $80 here. I lost $50 on this trade. I lost $200 on this trade. I lost $125. Add all the losses up. You get one giant number, right? Now take that number and divide that number by the number of losing trades. And let's say there were 20 trades. So take that number and divide that number, that total loss for the week, divide it by the number of trades. You're going to get your average losing trade. Your average loss per trade. Average loss per trade. Now that you have that number, starting tomorrow, I want you to vow to yourself and do it day by day and even break it down further, trade by trade. Every trade you go into, this is your promise. I am going to do every trade this week at 1/2 of my average loss from last week. Let's say your average losing trade last week was $125. That's the average you came up with. Starting Monday, starting tomorrow, $125, right? $75 is half of that. Okay? No, maybe let's say it's $150. That makes the number easy. So $150. So $75 is half of that. So you're going to take $75 is your new law this week. I will not lose more than $75 on any given trade. I want you to go into your following week. I want you to go into the week starting Monday saying, I don't care what the winning trades are this week. That's not my focus. I don't care whether I make money or lose money this week. That's not my focus. My sole purpose in life, starting Monday morning, is to never take a loss this entire week greater than 1/2 of the average loss that I took last week. And practice this. Practice your discipline on things like this. If you have a goal every single Monday, an achievable goal every single Monday, that you actually get accomplished, that you actually can say, by the end of Trading Friday, I did this. Do you know what that's going to do for your level of discipline? That it is impossible to emerge out of that week not being a different individual, not being a different trader, because you're more disciplined. You've carried out a task from start to finish. And this revolutionizes who you are. This is the metamorphosis week by week that we go through. Most people in this game are looking for trading success to fall out of the sky. They're doing nothing on Monday morning to change anything. They're going into every single week the same person that they were last week. But how can success happen this way? It just doesn't happen magically one day. It doesn't fall from the sky one day. You've got to put the work into this, traders. You've got to do things starting every single morning that make sure that you are not the same trader on Friday afternoon that you were on Monday morning of the same week. And do this week after week after week, and it will be impossible to not progress. It will be impossible to not rise. It will be impossible to not improve. The lack of improvement, the lack of progress is because there's nothing being done to make you different from who you were last week. No one wants to put this work in, but this is the work that leads to mastery. It just doesn't appear magically, traders. Most people are in this game are just living the same day all over again. Do you understand? That it's one big, long, never-ending, boring Monday. That they allow their Monday, the same losing Monday, to spill over into Tuesday. They call it Tuesday, but it's really Monday repeated again. And then they wake up on Wednesday morning and they call the day Wednesday, but in reality, it's Monday all over again. 5 days of Monday. No change, no tweaks, no discipline, no growth, no progress. And it's these individuals, in the grand scheme of things, that give my industry a bad name. Because despite not doing anything, despite not applying what I'm telling you to apply here, they will blame someone else for their lack of progress. They will blame the game. They will call the game a scam. They will call Oliver a scam. That's easier than living up to the reality that I did nothing to make myself different. You know that most people have no idea what discipline really is. Discipline is nothing more than the ability to keep your own word to yourself. That's what discipline is. I will not lose more than $75 on any given trade this next entire week. That is a promise you're making to yourself. That is you creating the law. That is you putting your word on the line. And let me ask you this. If you can't keep your own promises to your own self, what chance do you ever have of keeping your promises to your wife, your husband, your children, your community at large, your personal God? Zero. It first starts with you. Learn to keep your word. Learn to keep your promises to yourself. Practice this in every area of your life. Practice it when it comes to keeping your desk clean, making up your freaking bed, waking up at a specific time every single day. Whatever it is, because discipline improved in one thing is discipline improved throughout your entire life. I'm constantly reminding you that trading is inextricably intertwined with life as a whole. It's a microcosmic version of life as a whole. Do you realize that The characteristics that make you a responsible, profitable trader are the same characteristics that make you a successful anything in life. Knowing when to cut your losses, knowing when to cut bad relationships, knowing when to double down and add to a position, knowing when to take half off and let the other half ride, knowing when to bypass an opportunity because it's not right for you, even though there's potential money there. Knowing when to make a small bet versus a medium-sized bet. Knowing when to put all the chips on the line and risk it all. These are life skills that will help you be a master, not just at trading, but at life in general. The same characteristics lie on both sides, trading and life. I've constantly reminded you of the fact that this is not an endeavor that is solely about buying something for $1 and selling it for $2. If that were the case, I would have gotten bored with this activity a long time ago, traders. It's far grander than that, far more sublime. Do you understand? That this activity we call trading is spiritual in nature. Why? Because it requires that you become a better you before you ever have a hope of becoming a better trader. You must become more disciplined. And then you take that more disciplined you into the market. You must become more disciplined first. Then you take the more disciplined you into the market. You must first become more responsible. And then you take that more responsible you into the market and it delivers. You must become more exacting. You must become more intelligent first. You must become more powerful. You must become more aware. You first, market second. Anything that has you focused on you rising, you becoming better, you becoming more powerful, you becoming more aware, you becoming more disciplined, you becoming an individual who can keep their promises and keep their word to themselves and everyone else in their lives. Anything that helps you do that is not just an activity, it's a spiritual act. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is far more than just about making money. This is about becoming a better you. And becoming a better you will guarantee that you become a better trader. How can a more disciplined individual not become a more disciplined trader? Impossible. And so, yes, find ways to motivate yourselves. You can find motivation right here on my channel. I spend a lot of time trying to motivate you, trying to keep you in the game, because one of the most important things is to last. Don't quit. So get your motivation. Get your doses of motivation wherever they may be. But don't ever forget, traders, that motivation can never bring you to the ultimate destination of success. It is not meant for that. Only discipline can do that, traders. And only you can choose to be disciplined. Only you can work on discipline. I can teach you. I can show you in a few days every single thing you need to do to become successful at this. But I can't make you do it. I can't make you discipline. I can motivate you, but I can't make you discipline. I can teach you, but I can't make you discipline. I can train you, but I can't make you discipline. Discipline, as Providence would have it, is only in your hands. your responsibility. And now, it's your turn. Go to work, traders. Do you hear what I'm saying? Go to work. Boom. I want you to know I love you. I have these talks with you because I love you. That's not just words. I don't spend hours and hours every single day producing content because I don't love you. Do the right thing, guys. And always know I'm here for you. All right? Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Let's get ready to knock this market out of the park tomorrow morning. You can do it. Discipline. Yes, thank you. Thank you, guys.